My transfer is uneventful. A gentle wind from the direction of the west bodes well. I stop at a mechanical water display and attempt to decode. Satisfied, I move on to infiltrate the local inhabitants, participating in their viewing ritual. From here, it's bird's-eye perspective of Hong Kong and Kowloon harbour cities. The luxury space cruiser hovers alongside, reluctant to leave. Interstellar dwellers desiring terra connectivity gather on the outdoor observation deck. Some even mimic the camera posings of the locals below. Others simply gaze off into the distance, neither at the city below nor at us.
When I go away without you, I am the swimming bird, hoping to drown. I am the flying fish, willing to drown.
After a few moments, I turn for a final look at these beings aboard their spectacular craft, then turn my back on them and head down into the fecund city below.
Rain from the underground, you turn me upside down. You turn me upside down.
Beating the curse. Biyaka, the white tiger god. The white tiger is powerful.
Imagine there's some relationship with some persons who give a bad or negative curse. It's very natural. If you have a bad fortune in the past, you will find some answer. They will find the reasons. And they attribute the reasons to some persons they don't like. So, in order to correct this harmful force, they will invite the women to hit some papers. And in Chinese way, it's a 打小人.
Sacrifice, flesh, fire, seeds, blood. A final divination. Lucky for me, I get one side up, one down. Sing Boo.
Well, my mom is addicted to the Cantonese opera. Yeah, she started to listen Cantonese opera song, I think when she was young. And when I was 3 or 4 years old, I started to listen with her. Because whenever she's at home, she just play the Cantonese opera tapes and also CDs loud. When I was 11 years old, she started to learn the Cantonese opera song. She learns how to sing it. And I started to learn myself. And a few years later, I started to sing with her. And right now I can actually sing a bit. 佢哋上一把口，那家兒投降尾，仲酒後作奇談，夫婦嘅恩情，往日就傳。
So which part of Japan are you from?
Hong Kong,
Nagasaki, 9th of August 1945.
my dad's birthday.
Tell me about it.
While the Americans were busy depopulating the island of Japan, my grandmother was busy populating the island of Hong Kong, and my granddad was busy changing his name.
Young, Maltby.
Sakai Takashi.
I thought your granddad was fighting them.
He was fighting the Japanese while hating the British. At least their skin was the same shade of yellow.
Listen, how much further to the Daimaru department store?
You are a little late. It closed in 1998. I guess the Asian financial crisis didn't travel west.
So what's with the sign on the front of the bus?
Memory follows function. Around here, people use buildings and sites as memory markers. It helps to keep them anchored as they drift.
By the way, you got any tips on where I can find a 1997 EVA Series 2?
Makers are dead. It's all about sexy girl figures now. We're even selling them to the Japs. Heard of the twins? Anyhow, try the Sino Center in Mongkok. Ask around for Master Mercer. They'll know who he is.
Melancholy, gentle midwinter glow. Mongkok, Pop, Palace, Ebo. Tunneling inward to the center of now new Neo-Nippon nature. Welcome to my tight-fit maxi maze. Outer neon skin sheds rayon gun mysteries, reflected in the 1,000 Street eyes alive with hope and uniqueness. Each pair a floating vessel carrying 1 billion possible memories. Now in decode mode, mobile and scanning, sensing no malice, only sadness, respect, awareness, sensitivity. And then, unexpectedly, from this saline eyeball world, a teardrop falls.
Where do you want to go now?
You're asking me?
Yeah, just for a change.
You mean you don't know what you want?
Best waves of paranoia. Your monkey folks are killing me. Bad dreams and hallucination. My rock and roll is killing me.
Actually, I would like to just stay here and be still for a while.
It's too dangerous. You've got to keep moving. You have to go with the flow, or else.
Or else what?
I've been an infatuation. Your perfect skin is burning me. Back chat to the conversation. My hippie style is burning me. Whoa, whoa, too weird to live. Whoa, whoa, too rare to die.
Look, imagine you are in a beautiful white space. No walls, no ceiling, immaculately clean and safe. You're surrounded by every possible objects of desire. You feel yourself gliding effortlessly along the smooth, white surface. You are surrounded by many people or happily gliding along with you. You stumble, and someone instantly appears by your side and gently helps you get back on your feet. In a moment, you're back in the flow.
That's exactly the point. The power is out there, not here, in me. I feel as if I should be afraid. But it's so safe and cozy in here.
at least we are free. I mean, well, free enough.
Bad waves of paranoia. Your monkey bugs are killing me. Bad dreams and hallucination. My rock and roll is killing me. Whoa, whoa, too weird to live. Whoa, too rare to die.
I elevate down 3 layers to the subterranean transport hub. The platform seems unusually people-free. The carriage mimics a temple entrance with its dual-layer spirit doors. I hesitate before entering, suspicious of the intention behind the meticulously Hello Kitty-covered surfaces. Once inside, I search for a clue. Everything appears normal. But then, I spot a young woman standing alone by the doors, dressed as a gothic Lolita, concentrating on the bright pink plastic portable game held between her active fingers. She seems oblivious to her surroundings. Is this Hello Kitty carriage decoration her doing? Are my fellow travellers impervious to her magic, or are they skillfully hiding their fear as one does when confronted by a vicious animal? I decide to assume the role of provocateur, pull out my camera and cavort around the carriage. As expected, nobody flinches. The Lolita continues her manipulation, and the train rolls on.
凤角，乘客可以换乘荃湾线接芒洲环沿途各站。Next station, Mongkok. Interchange station for the Tuen Wan line towards Central.
I had my first experience with shamanism when I was very young, about 6 years old. One day after school, I felt a pain in the left side of my chest, so I told my parents about it. My parents misunderstood my condition to be an early stage of heart disease. They were very worried, but instead of sending me to hospital, they took me to see my Auntie So. Auntie So is from Fujian, a province on the southeast coast of China. She now lives in North Pond, or Little Fujian, a district on Hong Kong Island. She is a donkey, a powerful shaman. The god that possesses her is named General Li. Shamans who have their own god can do anything, because the god's power is absolute. For example, if a ghost or a spirit is disturbing a person, the god can punish the ghosts and get rid of them. The most important thing is that gods are always good. Auntie So doesn't operate in a temple. She operates out of her own flat in North Pond. Her flat is divided in half. The right side is for normal living, and the left side is the shaman's workspace, where Auntie So regularly get possessed. After I enter the room, Auntie So lights 3 incense sticks. Then she calls to General Li. Please, General Li, please come. Your client is here, so please come. Then she just sit in the chair and fold her legs under her. After a few seconds, she starts to act like she's going to vomit. Moments later, she stops and begins to speak in a male voice, calling me Xinu, female believer. She no longer recognizes me as her niece. She then starts to heal my pain by massaging and blowing wind on the left side of my chest. During the healing process, my aunt, who is usually a nice and friendly relative who loves me dearly, changes into a totally different person. She seems to be drunk. She acts and talks like a child. Then she says that my pain is due to my own carelessness and naughtiness. I try calling her name to wake her up, but my parents stop me and tell me to show respect to General Lee, the god who has possessed my aunt's body.
When the people talking to me are just facing him or her, but my eyes try to look at different things. Yeah, actually I'm not focusing on the person that I'm talking with. I'm actually scanning the environment with my eyeball, observing the whole scene of the environment, but not focusing on one or two things. I can discover something that other people can't. I always don't feel safe. I feel a kind of fear for me to live in this environment. So I started to scan the environment that I'm inside. To discover the environment give me a kind of feeling of safety.
Hong Kong people's evaluation of Beijing's performance has consistently been good. Beijing has truly honored the agreement. They could be quite mean to their own people in mainland. There's no democracy over there, and they're still not letting us to have democracy, but neither did the British. In 1997, I was interviewed by Newsweek and I made this comment about the future of Hong Kong. And I said, I would rather be devoured by a tiger than eaten alive by worms. We didn't see any tiger, but I do feel worms everywhere. So there's a kind of cultural invasion. It's hard to pin down, but you can feel it and see it all the time. Celebration parties, national anthem before news at 6, and subtle changes in school, the increased use of slogans, the way the police handle the demonstrations. During the British day, they didn't have that kind of stuff. So there is this kind of cultural dimension. I cannot pin it down in a very detailed and specific way, but you can feel it. Those are the worms that I was talking about. But this is probably the most terrifying way of invasion.
好鬼攰啊！
做乜咁攰啊？
啱啱收工啊！唉，喺深圳走歸翻落嚟，哇，幾鬼死長啊條路！
你喺深圳做嘢㗎？
係啊，日日都上去咯。但係好攰啊！總之來來回，好早起身啊！
但係你喺深圳做啲咩㗎？
我做 journal 咯，影相㗎。影 product 咯，叫做。但係個老細係香港人嚟嘅，就喺深圳度開個 studio，咁我咪上去幫下手，學下嘢咁咯。
即係你幫香港嘅老細翻大陸影嘢。
但好奇怪嘅，佢做美國市場㗎，所以呢排咪好忙咯。因為咧近聖誕節呢排咧，有好多嘢要影，即係嗰啲聖誕樹啊，你知聖誕節美國嗰啲大節嚟㗎嘛？哇！就一堆一堆咁嚟，聖誕樹啊，蠟燭啊，啲好細嘅 pop 你應該知嘅，雪人仔嗰啲，咁就一堆一堆咁樣影。
即係日日都影呢啲嘢㗎？
呢排係啦，跟住我又要來回回，日日都好早起身，即係可能6、7點，咁我要上去啦，係啦，跟住上到去就做又 OT 又冇錢俾噃，咁啊落翻嚟，咁啊攰，又瞓覺，咁啊一日。
即係日日都咁早起身，跟住做完嘢幾晏翻到屋企。
係啦，日日都係咁，係好悶。
即係倒模式生活咯。
差唔多啦。
真係慘。
咁你咧？
我冇喎，做 part time 做銀行咯。
係咪要着 suit 嗰啲啊？
要啊，要着 suit 啊，日日都要翻工，話就話翻9點，但係其實佢又叫你8點半翻，但係冇錢喎又係。冇錢俾喎。
但係咁早翻去叫你做咩啊？
冇啊，咪翻去聽 briefing，跟住之後晨早流流換埋件衫，又要掛埋嗰啲牌啊，要掛埋 trainee 嗰個牌啦。跟住晨早流流翻去聽佢哋講嘢，又唔知佢哋講乜。跟住佢掛住嗰啲牌咧，咁人哋又覺得你係新仔啦，跟住又恰你啦，跟住啲客又衰咯，跟住啲客又覺得你唔識嘢啊，跟住又恰你啊，跟住啲 manager 又態度好差咁樣咯。
都忙㗎喎做銀行。
好忙㗎，日日放工埋數咪要數錢咯，跟住明明有部機喺度，有人俾人用機數，跟住用手數咯。
咁奇怪嘅。
係啊，跟住佢話用手準確啲喎，但其實用機又快啲啦，準確啲又唔知點解，好奇怪。跟住有人俾人去廁所啦。
廁所都唔俾去？
唔俾啊！日日翻工，因為好多人㗎嘛，係啊，跟住之後佢咪唔俾你去廁所咯，你要即係得 lunch 嘅時間去廁所同埋放工咯，跟住其他時間都好忙，忙得好緊要咯。跟住晨早流流要人化妝啊。
唔係咁化妝要嘅，但係
要化得好濃嗰啲妝咯，跟住咁晨早流流你冇時間啊嘛，已經喺度化妝好煩。
都幾辛苦㗎喎。
好攰啊，係啊。
但係其實你做銀行做 part time，咁其實有冇咩想做啊？真係。
有㗎，其實我想唱歌㗎，咁但係冇計啦，要揾食㗎嘛。係啊，即係我都唔係中意做銀行嘅，根本完全。
但係你又係咁樣日日啦，就好似我
咁樣咯，翻工
又咁冇啦。
係啊。
OK。話咁快6月尾。
係啊。
應該有假放㗎咯喎，其實6月尾好似。
6月尾好似有回歸10週年啊嘛，係嘛？
好似係啊，不過都唔關我哋事啊，其實講真。
我都唔知咩嚟嘅。
咁啊，未免離譜啲。
有啲人喺度又賣晒報紙、賣晒廣告，又話唔知乜乜減價，完全都唔關我事，我都冇理。
因為其實都
都係大粒嗰啲人先會理啫嘛。
有一日放假冇乜分別咁對我嚟講。
就係知道有假放咯。係啊，就唔知發生緊咩事啊。
So beautiful， 我失去过，更珍惜拥有。多庆幸我是我，被你疼爱的我。不掩住的手，不要放手，不要守护我。这个世界随时都要崩塌，我没有其他的愿望。假如明天真消失了，趁现在我爱着，不要证明一生的美丽。这个世界随时都要崩塌，我没有其他的愿望。假如明天真消失了，趁现在我爱着，不要证明一生的美丽。
A model for extraterrestrial colonization. Autonomous zone. Generic and mobile, existing everywhere in time and space. Impermanent, regenerative, pure, nostalgia and preservation free. The total liberation experience. Safely explore and express without the inconvenience of those pesky phobia-producing earthbound organisms. Simultaneous perspectives in this free-flowing, geomantically precise floating world. Clocks rendered ornamental, their impotent hands no longer holding anyone to ransom. Desire, memory, dissolves.
From MTR to their school, they just everything cover and never see the sky. You have to get through those shopping malls before going to school. That's the problem. Why people facilitate you go shopping and your school is just beside the shopping mall. There's a big problem in Hong Kong. Don't you think that there's a problem? The students say, oh, just okay. Why not? It's good. So they ask me back why I have to think about these things. Some students, they're happy about the mall culture. They're happy about that. Just shut up. I love shopping. Just shut up.
Every 2 years we have to think about, we're in crisis. Because in Hong Kong, everything is replaceable. Anything. Everything. From poor working class to mass consumption to brand to niche market. And also from UK, US oriented to try to bring into the local context. And then from local going to Japan, and then Japan for, again, now is more global.
But another small group of people, a student, they have more independent thinking or more liberal. They will be quarrel to each other. But somehow when they cannot convince each other, they are hostile to each other. Very hostile. Just saying something very bad. You are poor, you have no money, that's why you're saying this way. You know what I mean? Because you don't like shopping because you are poor. Because you have no money, you have no say.
Gradually, around the mid-70s, things becoming affordable. And they start to know how to consume and so on. That was the beginning of the mass consumption. Everyone consuming the same thing, and you have trendy stuff and so on. And then gradually, by the time of the 80s and 90s, of course, there's a sort of further change of becoming more and more brand conscious. You need to have a icon, you need to have brand names like Giordano, typical late 70s, early 80s Hong Kong local manufacturers brand. You need to borrow something look like Italian in order to make it appealing. So the 80s it would be brand culture. And then by the time of the 90s, of course, young people, because of growing affluence, of course, they would be turning to look for alternatives and new initiatives.
Some people think that you guys are poor. You don't want to get rich, so you don't like development. You don't want to have a good development. Please go away. The exclusive sense, very strong.
Could be in outer space or on Mars.
Yeah, but is that really the outside world? Or just an image? It's heaven. The sky. Like clouds. Floating.
It's not heaven. It seems to go down and down without end. Deep into the core of the earth. Down and down. There is a city. The festival walk. The most important things in the world don't exist in here.
Do you have a fantasy that you could be sitting in there with a beautiful woman, being served meticulously prepared delicacies, sipping on a rare and ancient drink?
I have a fantasy that I'm fighting in the street with a beautiful girl, with my guns and red flags, capturing the summer palace of Alexander Kerensky.
A dream, but it's all here for you. You don't have to fight for it. It's already part of you.
I can recognize and appreciate the aesthetics and artistic qualities of these things, but I have no desire to own any of it.
Okay, so it's about practice. Maybe if you practice, you'd start to like it.
Maybe, but my ideology keeps me from being confused.
And if your ideology changes, what then?
If you have gone through a plague, one thing every one of us realize is that things can be taken away from you at any time. Things could disappear just like that. You know, I could talk to you today and tomorrow you'll be in hospital. So I think that's nurture a sense of you need to take what you have very seriously. They could disappear at no time. You know, after the SARS, the next big event was the July 1st, 1 million people on the street demonstration. You see, actually things are growing and accumulate. There's certain mentality that has dictated the whole governance of Hong Kong since the colonial days, like this obsession with economic growth, the lack of respect for culture. It has a lot to do with a colonial culture and a refugee culture. The government is like the board of director of a big corporations. This is not that the government has become more suppressive. They're just doing what the British has been doing. The people are changing. So as I said, there's no problem with the people. It's a government. It's not sensitive enough to realize the changes.
I had a dream last night that I was at the train station I'm riding on an escalator, indulging in overprotective parent thoughts, evoked by emphatic disembodied, please hold on to the rail female voice, again and again. Next moment, a crash and cry, as bodies tumble backwards. Man as them, wedged upside down, holding back a cascade from above. Amidst the floundering 45-degree adult bodies, a small child stands impervious. For an instant, all is frozen. Then, officials suddenly materialize. Suspicious and impressed by the efficiency of it all, I step onto the train and smile as an accomplice wants me to mind the gap.
And that's too dark for me. I have to trust in order to function. Sometimes it's hard, but what else can I do?
After SARS, I lost my ability to trust the system. I'd rather not have to think about it. But right now, I've got no choice.
But all that brought us together. For the very first time in my life here, I felt connected and powerful. And then July the 1st, that was beautiful.
My concern is with now and tomorrow. I've got another 40 years to live.
You are different. You can always escape, like you and your friends did before. The rest of us have to stick it out or find other means of escape. Why didn't they give us our passports? Why did you come back?
This is my home. Well, at least it's where my parents live. And I think I've got something useful to contribute.
When I was a kid, the sea used to be just down there.
Our leaders are great alchemists, changing water to gold.
Happens in 2003. At that time, Hong Kong was attacked by SARS.
The time is 2003. Hong Kong is attacked by SARS, and the girl is a nurse in a public hospital.
The girl is a nurse in a public hospital. One day she breaks down.
Just suddenly breaks down. Her mother thinks that her daughter may be cursed by someone or a god. But the doctors think that the daughter is just crazy from having to deal the pressure of the SARS epidemic, so she just breaks down. But her mother insists that her daughter is cursed by someone. So she brings her daughter to General Li for a consultation. General Li say that her daughter is possessed by ghosts from the Qing dynasty.
Her daughter was possessed by a ghost from Qing dynasty.
He tells the mother that in a past life, her daughter was a princess, and the ghost was a great warrior and he loved the princess. But the princess refused to marry him, so he commits suicide.
He used to marry, so the general commits suicide.
And although the girl was reborn again, he still wanted to be with her. So he kept trying to disturb the girl. He just wants to be with her.
Tries to disturb the girls and just tries to be with them.
So generally practice some exorcism on the girl. After the first exorcism, the situation of the girl doesn't improve too much. But after the second time and the third time, the girl really starts to recover from her madness.
Recovering from her madness.
Chinese people believe that in every year there's one major star deity who is in charge of the fortunes of this year. Many Hong Kong people is very eager to know whether their deity has any conflicts with the year of the star deities, whether any conflicts. If there's a conflict, they have to do something to pacify this conflicting relationship.
February 19th, 2007, Qigong Temple, New Territories. Spin the wheel, beat the drum, shake the sticks till kingdom come. Smoky blue clouds of hope and prosperity engulf the city as 6 million hands light 60 million joss sticks and 12 million ears strain to decipher soothsayers' tones above the relentless sacred backbeat of 60,000 factories playing the Pearl River Delta blues.
For example, the coming Lunar New Year, for Taoist believers, they will go to Taoist temple to perform a small Taoist rites to say thanksgiving to those deities who helped them in the past years. The second objective, of course, is to pray for the good fortunes in the coming years. And the third objective is if the fortune in the last years was bad, they want to reverse their fortunes in the coming years. Especially in the day 3 of the first month of the Lunar New Year calendar. It's very cloudy in Taoist temple.
Would you please just light up a small bunch of incense? Also, to blow up your incense while they are burning. Thank you for your cooperation.
These 3 days will be a big day. Every year, second day, we come here for the whole family, asking something from God, making some wishes for the year, and then the next year will come again. Wang Dai Xin, okay, he's one of our gods. So many followers, cannot be upgraded to as a god, but so many followers, and then some people come here and then they find it comfortable, and then they believe something and they make a wish, and then oh, it's good. All over in Hong Kong, there are small temples. They may have different kinds of God.
The word belief is a problematic concept because belief is something that we use in the West from a religious point of view to say, do you believe in God? Do you believe in Jesus? Something like that. You divide the world into believers and non-believers. With the Chinese religious beliefs, they just are. And you may have some skepticism, or you may have not sure how true it is, or you may wonder whether this particular incident is true or not, or instance is true or not.
that. But the cultural reality is very, very real. Anthropologists usually divide the supernatural entities in Chinese society into gods, ghosts, and ancestors. And the gods are usually, often were humans before who've done good deeds, and they serve as a deity on earth before being reincarnated like everybody else. Ancestors are, of course, everybody has their own ancestors, your people who came before you. Usually people focus more on the patrilineal ancestors. And then the ghosts are often people who have died before their time and are therefore angry because of that, or people who don't have descendants to worship them and are therefore forced to wander the earth because they're not properly propitiated.
We would like to know why you are in such a rush to break this tower down. Why do you want to get rid of this tower within 24 hours? Is it because you are afraid that finally the Hong Kong public realizes the work, the dirty work that you do? We are, as a public, in love with this country, and we are doing it because we want to protect this country of its cultural heritage. Demolish history and get rid of our heritage. Not even Macau, not even Singapore, not even cities like Barcelona, Paris, and London, including Hong Kong, where we decide land department, building department, planning department, the town planning board, you are all culpable on this bad day. We in Hong Kong have lost confidence. You better hear it loud and clear. Hong Kong people, public consultation in the correct fashion. Not under the table. 制度事實啊！我第一制度事實係咪？
Kind of funny that this happened in this 10 years on, but it did help to create some kind of noise talking about cultural heritage. A lot of discussion has used this incident, this Star Ferry thing. It kind of seems to be evolving or growing into some kind of a movement. Basically about town planning, people's participation, and decolonization.
Actually, we start at the end of last December, right after the event in Star Ferry Pier, and then we think the problem of Star Ferry Pier is not only a problem of conserving the clock tower or not. It is related actually to us as Hong Kong people. Do we have the right to voice out our preference or our choice for how this kind of historical architecture or historical area should be stay with us in Hong Kong?
其實好似之前都講咗啦，我因為突然間有個感覺，將佢當做一個好似就嚟唔喺度嘅親人咁樣啊嘛。咁其實我就係有個好好嘅朋友咧，喺前幾個月過咗身。我將咗對佢失去咗朋友嘅情感感情擺咗落去 Starbury 嗰度，所以變咗。就係將人嘅感情擺咗落呢一個 Starbury 咯，變咗就影出嚟，我覺得係有啲唔同嘅今次。我講再 detail 少少啦，最緊要就係因為我朋友佢原先佢生前係好多朋友嘅，但係當佢過身之後咧，所有朋友就好似消失晒咁樣，冇。我個朋友個老婆佢話冇一個除咗我之外係冇一個朋友揾過佢嘅，即係佢覺得好傷心咯。嗰一下事情發生之後，我一直都好對自己好記喺心裏邊啊。變咗對住天星碼頭呢件事嗰時就都覺得呢件事過去之後就冇人記得佢㗎啦，所以就更加有呢一個衝動去想將佢記錄得再好啲咯。
Juxtapositions of space and time. Hyper-polished surfaces reflect wealth in rows of designer boutiques, endlessly repeating up endless malls. Escalator as art. Down on street level, it's either Blade Runner close and dense humanity, and food stalls reflected in the clusters of neon signs above, or wide avenues with once again repeating dried herbal medicine shops. Shark fin mounds take centre stage on white tiled floors. Outside on the footpath, mounds of dried lizards stretched across bamboo frames spill into the gutter, their dull dyes reflected in the thin stream of water collected from outflow hoses of 1,000 air conditioners. Refrigerator drones chorus down the Gothic crumbling cathedral of Queen's Road West. Meanwhile, back at the centre, it's all all sanitized artificial space colony living, descend to the lower levels without ever having to touch the ground or breathe tainted air. Shop and eat and shop and eat and collective pastime. Hungry ghost, ghost in the shell, the dead, the living, Tao Buddhist fear. Even ultra architecture can't escape the ghost factor. Feng shui, or else.
In 1953, there was a big fire in Shakimei that burns all the squatter huts. It's just like Hiroshima or Nagasaki. And then the UN and the Hong Kong government tried to solve the problem of the refugees of the big fire, and they tried to start the public housing estate building in Hong Kong. The Amsan estate was a really unique estate with a very unique architectural style and also the planning. We are now in the playground on the podium. Down to the second floor there is a shopping mall, we call it shopping mall, but it's just like a street. And at the bottom there is a market. Well, actually it's a really traditional and classical with red flora and with a very noisy environment. It's not a modern market, it's just like the 70s. When the residents open their windows, they can see the market, the podium, and also this playground. The residents can see different layers. They can actually easily communicate with each other. So the community can be easily formed by this kind of multi-layered perspective. One-third of the population in Hong Kong living in the public housing estates. The public housing estate is the main source of the Hong Kong social movement and also the main source of Hong Kong local community culture. In 1989, the residents in Nam Shan and also the Tang Dong estate were supporting the Beijing students in Tiananmen Square. 2 years after the handover in 1999, the government imposed an A-grade security policy in all public housing estates in Hong Kong. There are security guards to make sure that no any other strangers get into the public housing estates. In the past, the residents tried to mobilize themselves. They actually get inside the public housing estate blocks and then talk to each other. The traditional mobilizing methods are not going to work because of the A-grade security policy. The government in Hong Kong will not try to make another Nam Shan estate because the Nam Shan estate works too well to form a big community. But now, we can't find this kind of public housing estates anymore, because the government tried to make the public housing estate to be a prison for the poor.
The spirits of the children are waiting to be reincarnated. They wander here and there, seen by people by chance.
There's a small pond in Chongqi campus, and the story there is that a couple was going to elope, and they said, let's meet at 10 o'clock by the lotus pond. And then 10 o'clock, the girl was there, but the boy couldn't get out of his house. His parents wouldn't let him go out. So she thought she had been abandoned, and so she killed herself jumping into the pond. And from then on, if any male student was walking near the pond at 10 o'clock and a female asks him, what time is it now? If he said it was 10 o'clock, she would drag him into the pond and drown him. So you have to make sure you don't say it's 10 o'clock if you're caught at the pond at 10 o'clock at night.
The ghost story is more mysterious than political debate. And there's talks between the governments. $6 million eyes per
bring you to like a palm reader. You have to pay extra if you want him to read your face and palm. It's in Causeway, middle of Causeway. You have to go up 2 floors, and he's there.
In Chinese face reading, we have the 3 part. The upper part is a forehead here, including the ear is belongs to the age from 1 to 30. The eyebrow 31 to 50. Eyebrow, eye, nose, cheekbone is from 31 to 50, and the lower part, including the age, from 51 to the end. So you have the strong upper mouth here, and jaw is with the muscle is good, and even your face is a little bit like a slim face, not a broad and wide face, but you do have the strong lower part here. So the older the better. The older the better. But you should take care about the problem of your heart, because we do have some imperfection here. Some here is for the transface reading. It's not good for the heart. And you do have the high bridge of your nose, and the bridge of the nose is not a straight one because there's some problem here. So in Chinese face reading, in the age of 44 and 45, that means your actual age of 43 and 4, you have some problem, say like a traffic accident or some problem in your job, in your business, or in your marriage, or the love affair have some trouble.
You're out of control. You're out of control. If you want to relax at work, put a mirror in front of you. You don't know what you're doing because you don't know what you're doing. Get off work at 3 in the morning. You just want to find a taxi to drive you home, if you got one. Your voice is small because you don't speak out. Your hands are small because you don't want to hold on to anything. I like your clothes, but they don't fit me. I like your hair, but they're too short for me. You aren't drinking any water because you don't want to cry. That's insane, you know. There's nothing happier than to hurt someone. Don't you think? You tried to call someone tonight, but you forgot the number. There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm only suicidal.